Hey y'all, I'm Ian McKay, and today I'm going to do my reading, report, and presentation over the smartest kids in the world and how they got there. For my assigned chapter reading, I had chapter 5. In this chapter, Kim kind of is getting into her Finnish schools and realizing the differences between American and public school teaching. One of the first things she realizes is that the difference in technology. In a lot of her Finnish classrooms, it's pretty standard chalkboards and just face-to-face teaching versus in America, they had projectors, they had all sorts of technology that is supposed to enhance the teaching. She also realized that all the students are really engaged. She sit by the person she called the stoner kid, and even he was really engaged. And she made comments about how in America that person wouldn't have been usually engaged very much in the teaching, in the learning. As the chapter goes on, we start realizing that to become a teacher in Finland, it's actually extremely competitive. Teacher candidates go through a rigorous progress and vetting to make sure that they are the best teachers that they can be. And they have an entire year of student teaching. While some places in America do have that, like Tech Teach, not everyone does, and it just doesn't make as big of an impact as it really should here in America. So my argument is that the U.S. education crisis isn't due to low funding or any other issue like that. I think it's due to the teaching standards here in America. Throughout the book, we talk about the PISA test and how it tests the students' ability to apply knowledge they learn in the classroom to real-world issues, and how America has tested so poorly in that compared to other countries like Finland. This test kind of allows for the proper assessment of a country's teaching effectiveness because it doesn't just ask multiple choice questions about this very specific things. It gives you broader, more creative ways of answering questions that makes the test a little more difficult. It says in the book that in 2009, teachers in the U.S. tested using the PISA test. Their results in the subject math, science, and literature were 17th in science, 12th in reading, and 26th in math. While reading is okay, it really isn't that indicative of the future of your success or anything like that. So the tests really aren't that great. And it was an eye-opener to Americans and other countries like Germany. Here you can kind of see our results. This is in 2015, so it's a couple years later after we've had some time to get back and revisit some things and see if we can revamp our system. And we really haven't had much of improvement. Our math scores are very poor. Reading and science are okay, but could really use some work. And I think this really shows how our teaching hasn't really changed and the standards haven't changed and how it's just been about the same. In the book, we see Kim compares Oklahoma to Finland, which gives us a great perspective on how things are different. She explains how in Finland it's extremely competitive. They can even compare it to getting to MIT or Harvard here in the United States, and how that gives students a lot more respect for the teachers, which helps engagement in the classroom. This kind of happened in Finland in the 1970s. They incorporated their own kind of NCLB, No Child Left Behind Act, which kind of revamped the whole public school system. They got rid of all the bad schools and made really strict rules and regulations on the curriculum and the teachers. This was hard at first, but over time, as the teachers started becoming better and the schools started becoming better, they were able to pull back and have a laissez-faire kind of control over the public school system, which allows for more teacher creativity of their programs and how they teach. I think some takeaways from reading this book and my analysis of Chapter 5 is that money doesn't create success in education. It's teaching standards and how you teach your teachers. If you have a teacher that's gone through a rigorous vetting process and has been tested on how well they teach effectively, you're going to have more respect for your teacher. You won't have as much respect for a teacher who's just kind of gone along with the wave and not been tested when a teacher's trying to teach you. But if a teacher is well vetted, you will have more respect for her and you will work harder. It's pretty simple. And I think that's a big takeaway that, we've seen that Finland's done it in some other countries, so why not follow them? Some people make arguments of diversity in the United States and how that's a big issue, but that's been disproven many, many times over and is not an excuse for why we have such a poor public school system. For the two questions, the first question, I think the biggest view of mine that has been changed through this book and through some other units here this semester is that how good our public school systems really are. Yes, we have good public school systems technically, but to be great, we can't classify ourselves under that. We really are a poor public school system, and we need a lot of revamping. But you never know when that'll come along. Who's going to change that? For question two, for a regular person to help with public school system, I think it's important to vote for people who want to implement higher pay for teachers and support the best performing teachers, politicians who want to raise the competitive college acceptance rates and do stuff like that to help promote stricter teacher standards and stuff like that. And this is my works cited. I really just looked at The Smartest Kid in the World and what Amanda Ripley had to say and what Kim had to say. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.